Okay, record. Yes, thank you, Zoom, for telling us. All right, so hi guys, hi everybody. How are you? How is, today is the 13th of October and it's a Wednesday. Very cold in Nairobi. I'm calling in from Nairobi and I have a wonderful guest with me here. Her name is Dorothy Orina, calling in from Nyeri, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Nyeri.
Yeah, say hi, Dorothy.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Okay, so Dorothy is a student at Dedan Kimathi University. She's a fourth year student. She's studying Mechatronics Engineering. Well, okay, she'll tell us more about it. My name is Edna Semiti. I'm the CEO and the founder of ZinduaKaria. If you don't know who ZinduaKaria is, I'll tell you more about it. ZinduaKaria is an organization that prepares young people for the world of work from a very young age. We help them transition from education system to the real world by providing education, information, guidance, and advice that helps them choose the right careers, develop the right skills employers are looking for, and where we can, we even connect them to employers so that they can get the skills. By the time you're done with high school, you're ready to go where you should be going. Either you want to go to training or education, you want to do further education, or you want to start your own business or get a job, you'll be ready for it. So that is our work. We started this work in 2018 and we want to do more in the years to come. Over the last few days, I've been holding broadcasts with different people who are telling us more about subjects in different careers. And today I have a special guest called Dorothy Orina, who will be telling us about physics first, the love for physics, her love for physics, the value she has got out of physics, and then she'll share with us some careers that you can think about that you, if you love physics, if you really, really love physics, you can be able to consider in your future. There are careers in physics, good ones, Kwanza. Yeah, and you have to love physics. That is our topic for today. You just have to love physics. Ama ni aje, Dorothy?
Yeah, you really have to. It's everywhere, so you have no choice.
Yeah, physics is everywhere. Okay, as someone who struggled with it, I can tell you, even this morning, I think I used physics because there was my son was asking me questions about boiling point and all, and the freezing point, and I went into the details of explaining how ice becomes ice. So I used a bit of physics. That's physics, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So physics is everywhere. Where else is physics, Dorothy? Maybe you can tell us.
I think it's right here in our eyes. Both of us are using specs, and that is optics and lenses. So the aspect of refraction, both our eyes and our helping eyes are using physics.
Nice. The lenses, yeah, the ones that, the glasses that are facing this, that's an idea of physics.
Yeah.
Okay, where else? Where else?
Just as you said, in cooking, I think I really use cooking. I use physics in my cooking because there's in heat transfer and boiling and cooling. They usually say that impurities raise the boiling point of food. So while cooking, I add a little salt so that it cooks faster because the temperature will be much hotter. There's that, and there's also a heat transfer. If you're boiling water to put in a basin, say you're going to shower, you put a little cold water in the basin and then you put your hot water, which prevents it from cooling much faster than it would if you just put the jug of hot water. So if you look around, physics is actually just everywhere. You just have to apply it and it will make your life very much efficient than it is.
Okay, physics is in cooking, guys. When you go to add a little salt, you have done physics. So don't start saying that you don't like physics. You are living physics. Physics is part of your life. And today we are just here to break that down so that we can love it. We have to love physics. More especially for young boys and girls in primary school. As you're going into high school, I want you to think good stuff about physics. Those of you who are in high school, I want you to love physics so that if you decide to go for physics, it's because you know it adds value to you. If you decide not to go for physics, it's not because you're running away from it, but because you have other priorities. Don't hate physics, love physics. So I want to start with this first question, Dorothy. Why do you think people fear physics?
Well, I think physics presents a good challenge because there's relations. You know, in the definition of physics, it says the study of nature, and understanding nature is not a very easy task, but then it's also very interesting for the curious type. So if you're curious, I think you can be able to counter the challenge because well, physics in itself is a challenge, so you have to be ready to counter the challenge. And it's exciting as well because it gives you an understanding of how things work, of how matter behaves. So I think the reason why people fear it is because of the challenge that it poses, but it's also a good thing to counter these challenges because that is all life is about, overcoming the challenges that it poses to us.
Sawa, so imesikia physics, we fear it because many of us don't like what? Discomfort. It takes just a little bit more effort to get it, isn't it? And most of us want to get it just like that. Yeah. So obviously there are some skills you gain when you spend time understanding physics. Would you agree with that, Dorothy?
Yeah, there are very many skills. And I think one of them is problem solving skills because one of the major teaching in physics is the efficiency of machines, which is not just machines or processes. And I think we go through these processes every day, like the process of waking up, showering, going to work, where all these innovations that are coming up currently are supposed to make our everyday life efficient, faster, so and all that uses physics.
And how do you use problem solving on a daily basis? It's a very important skill, by the way. I'm very glad you mentioned problem solving. It's one of the courses that we train young people in high school is problem solving, because I define problem solving as finding a solution to a problem, isn't it? So we have problems every time, yeah? How have you found problem solving important in your life at the college or university at a young age where you are today?
Okay, I think as you grow up, you get to also have more responsibilities. And with all these responsibilities, some of them are compulsory. You can't just put some aside. You have to do all of them at once. And so when it comes to that, you start to realize that there's some tasks which can be done much faster than you're doing them right now, or there's you can invent something else to do the same task for you as you do something else. So problem solving also comes with being observative, and so you observe every single thing and see how you can make it better. One good example is a bed switch. That's one example of a problem solving method. So rather than moving from bed and going all the way to the socket on the wall to switch the bulb off, you can just switch it off from your bed. Yeah, so that is one example of making things efficient, bringing things to where you are at rather than having to go somewhere. Another example is this meeting that we're having right now. Zoom didn't exist before, but now it's making things much more it's making things possible that we're able to have a virtual meeting and communicate, and other people are able to receive what we're talking about rather than bringing all people together in a physical meeting, which sometimes may not be possible.
Yes, problem solving is very important because it helps us, think about solutions. Actually, science says, and I don't know whether you agree, that the more you're solving problems, the bigger your brain grows. And the more your brain grows, the better it is for, it says here that my meeting in Zoom is going to end very soon. I think, I'm not sure why. If it ends, we're coming back very soon. We'll do another session. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so problem solving, which other skill would you advise?
Pardon?
Which other skill do you think comes out of loving, physics? We were talking about skills, the skills that people gain. When you love skills, when you love physics, you have some certain skills. Which other skill do you think would develop out of your love for physics?
Okay, I think once you learn physics and you get a good understanding of the different concepts of physics, for example, electromagnetism, magnetism, electricity, it makes you able to try out different experiments on your own. You know, like things like mobile phones, when you look at them, you see as though they're very complex substances which are created by people who are different from us. But when you learn physics and you understand these concepts, you come to realize that you can actually do this at your home. You can start with little experiments. And if you get the right components that you need, the right equipment, then you're able to achieve so much more. So when you come to university, there are very many laboratories, there are very many resources. So as long as you have an idea and you pitch it to someone who can avail the resources, then you'll be able to develop all these things that at the moment you might be seeing them as very complex substances, but you can actually build them yourselves. These systems you see, like elevators, biometric systems, you'll be very able to achieve them by your own with just your computer.
So actually thinking outside the box, making use of what there is available, even interacting with different people, those are all skills that you acquire. And you know, in the world of work, most employers look for people who are able to develop skills like, you know, interpersonal skills, just being able to interact with different kinds of people, expressing your ideas, selling your ideas. So do you think that there are some subjects that you learned out of physics that helped you probably become better at maybe self-expression, for example? Is there any subject you can think of right now, that any topic within physics that built your ability to express yourself?
I'm not sure I can think of a particular topic, but I think with learning physics, since it's a very practical subject, most of the things, it's much easier if you build them as a team. So we used to have these competitions in high school where we used to go for physics challenges or a science fair. So in those, you don't go as a single person. You have to go as a team of 2, as a team of 3, and as you communicate, because an idea is built. So if you come up with an idea, a friend chips in, another friend chips in, and you have to discuss and make it work, and then you have to go and convince the judges. So I think through that process of building your idea and convincing someone that your idea works, it really builds up your interpersonal skills and how you express yourselves, because you have to really learn that. You can't just have an idea and then don't know how to tell it out, because no one is going to know it, and then it's not going to develop.
So basically what I'm hearing from you is you are given projects, you have to work on them in teams, and in that time of working together in teams actually helps you build interpersonal skills. So there's value in the projects also of physics. Yeah. So how would you tell somebody who's struggling with physics, what should they do? You know, there's some people who, two kinds of people, I think, when it comes to the relationship, the bittersweet relationship between physics and people and students specifically. There's two people. There's the one who loves it and is struggling. And then there's the one who doesn't love it and probably should love it. So I want you to speak to these two. The ones who love it, but they struggle, and the ones who are struggling and they hate it, but they could possibly get value out of physics. What would you tell them?
Okay, I'll first address the first group, the people who love it but are struggling with it. I think physics is a very practical subject, and just like math, you have to keep doing practice to know how to get it right. And there's this thing you said about if your brain keeps practicing something, it becomes it knows it better. Yeah, so with physics, with these very practical subjects, you just have to keep practicing, and when you feel like you're giving up or you're just losing it, it's better to talk to someone, talk to your physics teachers. My physics teacher personally mentored me a lot. He got me to take mechatronics. So just talk to people. People are struggling. So if you get to hear of how people are struggling and how they've been able to counter their struggling, then it motivates you to keep trying. So just try, fail, try again, fail, try again. And eventually you will get there. Just don't give up, just keep going. Life is not the same terrain for everyone, but we all have to get there. So just keep trying. For the second group who don't love it and probably don't find it as a fun subject, I'd just say look around, because there's this mindset about physics. It's just very complicated. There's a lot of math inside it. But then when you start looking at it practically, you look at your specs and realize that this is physics. You see, you look at yourself cooking and see that this is heat transfer, or when there's smoke in the air and you can see it going around in Brownian motion. So when you start pointing out the different concepts in your day-to-day life, you start to realize that this is actually something very practical. It's something that happens in your day-to-day life. And it becomes interesting to now begin to understand, because I think learning starts from a point of curiosity. So if you're not curious about something, you may not get to learn as much detail. So as long as you keep your curiosity there, then you're always going to learn. So just try to observe around, see everything that is happening, because physics is the study of nature, the study of matter and its behavior. And we define matter as everything that has mass and occupies space, which is almost everything except a vacuum. So if you start to observe that and the behavior of everything in your atmosphere, then you'll develop curiosity, which will enable you to learn, and you'll find physics to be much fun than you do it right now.
Nice, nice. So from the first encouragement, I hear resilience, don't give up, which is another skill, that employers look for young people. Resilience, people who never give up, who go for what they want. And the second one is just understand the practicality of it. And life is very practical. And when you're practical, you think logically. Wow, thank you so much for that insight. I see we have a few more minutes to the end of this session. And I was just wondering, Dorothy, if you were to mention one or two careers that someone can pursue because they have that ability to understand physics, careers that can be found in the skills you gain, the many skills we've discussed today for your love in physics. Which careers do you think these are? I know you mentioned one of them in what you're doing, but even you can do 2, 3, 4 careers that come to your mind, please.
Okay, so first is engineering, but then I think you have to understand that engineering is quite broad. What I'm doing right now is mechatronic engineering. There's mechanical, there's civil, there's electrical. So all of those, when you begin your university, you're all going to learn physics to emphasize on what you have learned in high school and to go into the details of each of it. So other than engineering, you can also take geomatics and geospatial. There's geology, because all these sciences of nature, you have to use physics at some point. So at your early stages, you're going to learn physics, and then you're going to go into the depth of physics to understand the motion of things. You can also do augmented reality and virtual reality or game development if you wish, because in all those you have to simulate the game environment or the immersive environment to be just like the real world, and the real world has physics everywhere, including gravity. So there's a wide range of careers, and most of them actually you'll have to start with the basis of physics.
Thank you. So, and what are your future goals? Who do you want to work for once you're done with university?
Okay, so my future goal, I'm actually in the process of working on a project, which is a startup. So eventually it's going to be registered as a company. I have majored in augmented reality and virtual reality, and also game development. So that is what I'm working